Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. Welcome for another day for IQ OHS USA accredited OSHA 30 hours construction industry training.
Yes.
So today we are going to discuss few of the specific topics relevant to construction industry. And one of the most important topic which I always highlight to my trainees, you have to be very much sound in hazard recognition. Like you are visiting a construction site, you must be fully capable how to identify the hazards relevant to construction industry especially, because this training is all about construction industry. So what I'm going to do is I added few pictures again, and I truly want you all to participate and try to identify if you see any of the hazard within any picture. So let me show picture number 1. You can unmute your mic. What do you think within this picture? What can go wrong actually? Or what is wrong there?
The support. Support.
So that means shortcuts or temporary solutions, right? And
Yes.
surely an example of unsafe act. Unsafe act.
Unmute mo. Unmute mo.
Yes, guys. So let's see, just to save little bit our time. Basically, there is no protective system in this excavation. Like no shoring, no benching, no sloping, no shielding at all. That means there isn't any kind of engineering solutions there, especially to keep their employees safe in excavated area. And also potential crushing hazard from overhead boulders, Let me show another picture. Can you identify hazard here? Look at the guys. Look at the material.
The stockpile of so much high.
So they can caught in between, right? There is a chance for cotton. So that means cotton hazards occur when a worker could be caught inside of or in between different objects. So on the construction industry at the site, we have to be careful how we are keeping material like stacking, storage, even transportation, rigging and lifting of different heavy materials. This all matters a lot. Look at another picture, please. Do you think any hazard is there? You can reply in the chat box as well. You can use the chat box if you don't want to speak up. You can reply in the chat box as well. What do you think? Any hazard is there? Okay. What about the moving parts? Do you think there must be some fencing, guarding? Excellent, mashallah.
There is no guard for this belt.
Absolutely right. So all moving parts on a machine must be guarded, especially up to 8.2 feet, all moving parts. And yes, unguarded machine is there. So same like you highlighted, unguarded belt and pulley, worker can get hand or clothing caught in running nip points. So we have to be careful from the nip points of certain kind of machines. Look at another one.
Injury. No guard on gear.
So gloves, long sleeves, shirts, jewelry, or loose fitting clothing can be hazardous if caught in moving parts. So near to moving parts, we have to be careful, especially like no jewelry. That is why certain companies, they have no jewelry policy, like they have clearly no rings, no wristwatch, they just, and no loose cloth as well. See another one. Do you think any hazard is there?
Confined space.
So no shoring, no benching, no sloping, no shielding. That means no protection at all, no protective system at all. While on the other side, what we have the standard is, deeper than 1.2 meter or 4 feet, it would also be considered a confined space. So a lot of other requirements also we need to implement, right?
Boy,
So look at what is missing there.
No PPE.
Yeah, exactly. No protective
Ladder.
systems in use next to a residential structure as well. Look, this is residence, very near. And 1 cubic meter of soil, weight is 260 kg, 1 cubic meter of soil. And that is enough to kill someone, Ladder at the end of the trench, and worker in an unprotected vertical wall trench pipe work is exposed to being totally engulfed by the trench if it is collapsed. So this is how sometimes we are putting our people in danger just for making money. But unfortunately, the moment we face any terrible accident, then we got immediately a very sharp, I would say, wake-up call, because the project is stopped. A lot of direct and indirect costs are involved now. Your goodwill could be on stake. No more projects from the same client, especially. Even the others, like if Aramco gone from your company, the other contractors would also be, avoiding to give any contract to your company, right? Once Aramco have blacklisted any contractor, no one would love to work with that contractor. So your goodwill, your business continuity, your business growth, your quality, your productivity, your health of your employees, the welfare of your employees, this entirely depends on the safety system, Now recognize any hazard here. Look at this gentleman. What can go wrong? Do not work between the frame and the dump box or the dump truck. Truck box not blocked. That means all sort of energies must be isolated, must be locked, must be, tagged as well, right? And this block would also helping to keep it up away and not coming down actually. But all sort of energies means can be electrical, can be mechanical, can be even hydraulic, pneumatic, spring loaded, even any certain toxic gases could also be there, like H2S or maybe more oxygen or some others. So all sort of energies, before you even start your project, you need to isolate, you need to lock and tag, then you can allow your people to work in a safe haven, right? Otherwise, it would be a terrible danger zone for all your employees. And sometime I have mentioned the new religion is invented by today's era, that's gain money and power by any means. Nobody is thinking while making money, they have to be ethically responsible, instead of just making money and killing people, not ensuring safety at all, not ignoring all quality or health and safety environmental standards, even CSR, corporate social responsibility, especially in construction industry. Like wherever you are traveling, I hope you guys sometimes drive in different remote locations even. Just look carefully the construction projects and you will see a lot of unsafe acts and unsafe conditions, even at your site as well. Just keep an eye on like a keen observer. Take another example. What is wrong? Employee could be caught between track of dozer and wall as well. You know, sometimes people say, oh, safety is a common sense. But what if you don't use your common sense? You will be noting a lot of people, they have common sense, but still they don't bother to use it actually. Otherwise, safety purely is a common sense. Before you do anything, just think and imagine what can go wrong. Nothing else can go wrong. And automatically, as a human being, our intelligence, our kind of knowledge and experience definitely will give us a clear ways what can go wrong. And we can avoid, you know. Look at another picture.
What is that?
What can go wrong? Crane booms are not adequately supported when the pins are removed during dismantling. So what we have to do is do not work under the cross boom during dismantling, because dismantling is one of the dangerous process, I would say. Anything can happen anytime, you know. If you ignore even a small angle, I would say.
Danger.
Look at one more. Imagine what can go wrong.
Mechanical.
Imagine, guys, what can go wrong. So the racking ball is loosely attached to the arm, could come loose and strike operator's cap. This one. And a worker could be caught in between as well. You know, between this container and between the racking ball and the dumpster as well. So one picture is more louder than might be 1,000 words. So whenever you go at your project site, you just need to make one picture of that area in your mind like this and see what is going wrong, you know, like any unsafe act or any kind of unsafe condition or any violation of safety rules and regulations. Easily you can identify. But if you don't bother, that's something entirely different. Look at another picture, guys. What is wrong here? Yes, excellent. Because if the foundation is not good enough or not secured properly, of course, you know, unstable footing or scaffold by using concrete block is not allowed. You must have some other like planks or, you know, sill boards or sole boards. Your material quality must be good enough. And the techniques and the specs of scaffolding must be as per international standards, either like OSHA regulations or might be the Aramco guidelines for scaffolding. Whichever you benchmark, just make sure you are following some standards, either Saudi Aramco standards or OSHA standards or any other you believe acceptable globally. Look at another picture. Look at, guys. Okay. So ladder is short. So first of all, no employer shall permit a worker to work in such proximity to any part of electric power circuit that the worker could contact electric power circuit in the course of work. So the safe distance is important. Like if up to 300 volts are there, minimum 3 feet distance must be there. Like 301 to up to 50,000 volts, minimum 10 feet. or 3 meter distance must be there. Then 50,000 to 250,000 volts, again double the distance, like 20 feet or 6.1 meter, in other words. And then above then 250 volts, 4 inches per 1000 volts, you can increase the distance. So there are specific standards for everything. We follow them, we don't follow them, this is our own choice. That's why sometimes I say, oh, you can be the killer of your employees and you can be the lifesaver of your employees. Choice is yours. You know, the trainers, consultants, the company owners, they can only motivate. Even the legal bodies, like a lot of legal departments of Saudi Arabia, they are working on a different modules. So they can just motivate, they can just penalize and punish as well. But still, it is the intention of the companies, either they're gonna follow safety systems, yes or not. So that's their own commitment actually. Look at another picture. So yes, it's so terrible. Unsafe condition is there, unsafe acts, and nobody cares what can go wrong. And this is another example of shortcuts as well. We don't have time to follow safety rules and regulations, but we have time to die actually. So let's see what can go wrong. Crossing electrical line, first of all, must be supported, protected, or removed to safeguard workers. Look at another one. So supplies electrical extension cords. Extension cords should be marked. Do not use. Also bad housekeeping, trip hazard, and unprotected hole in photograph. So poor housekeeping, poor set and order, no standardization, no sanitation, no sweeping at all. All are terrible hazards, I would say. Especially electrical hazards. That means it's really hard to get second chance. Same like confined space. It's really hard to get second chance in confined space. So every process in the world, we have to divide in 3 stages: before, during, and after. So before is very much important. Before starting that process or project, you have plenty of time to think about and take all proactively all measures and make sure nothing will go wrong. Even though 100% safety would be still a question, but still we can try. We can try proactively to minimize the chances of accidents or incidents or illnesses or injuries. Look at another picture, guys.
No problem.
Yeah. So anybody have an idea what is GFCI?
Ground fault circuit
Ground
interrupter.
fault circuit interrupter. So system not grounded even. Opening where conductors entered not closed. No cover on boxes, and even panel board were not dead front. Look at another picture. What is wrong in this picture? Yes. Excellent, mashallah.
Plug.
There is a cut.
Okay, so electrical drill flexible cord was supplied to a non-flexible conductor with damaged insulation. So any sort of damaged insulation anywhere at our project site, or even sometimes we put just tape or just we wrap up and we think nothing will go wrong. See another picture, guys. What is wrong here? Yes, Eric. Guys, this is the crux of this training. Because if you, as like a doctor, if you would be unable to diagnose or identify the issues or the hazards or kind of root causes, it would be hard for you to control them. Because for control, of course, we will apply engineering controls, or we will go with administrative or PPs or isolation or, elimination, in other words. But what if you are unable to identify these hazards? Then things can go terribly wrong at any time, right? That is why this is the crux of this training. You belong to construction industry means you have to be capable in hazard identification actually. You just move on at your side, you are making one picture of each area in your mind and you identify all the hazards. You take pictures. If you don't have time, you just take pictures, come back to office, prepare the presentation and identify all the hazards, and one by one, you can do meeting with the relevant department to correct them. And if you believe on-spot actions are required, again, you would be authorized, right? But if you will stop the project without any logical reason or technical reason, then your project manager or your general manager, they'll never be happy with you. Remember that one. So scaffold was erected 4.5 feet from 7.2 kilovolt power lines. Look at another one. Yes. So continuous path to ground not maintained, multiple codes used for fixed equipment. Yes, Eric? Basically it's overall unsafe condition. I mean, everything is wrong here. So for such conditions, we have authority to stop, correct, and then move on. That is why many companies, they have red tag movement program. You have red tag wherever you see things are so much dangerous. You just put red tag, and the relevant department or the person is responsible to take certain actions to remove that hazard or to eliminate or to minimize that particular risk. That means you don't move on until you improve that hazard. Yes, guys. We think these are minor issues. This is the general tendency in construction industry, because what they believe is, oh, nobody have time to go to market and bring something new, and it's really hard to give a purchase requisition or material request, and then procurement department will be making PO like and getting quotations from different suppliers, and they will be wasting hell of time. That's why people sometimes have tendency to go for shortcuts, because nobody would listen them. That is why what we encourage, keep minimum inventory of important things which you are using. That's why certain projects now they have project storage areas separately, especially for tools and equipment. Okay, guys, employee was operating a stand fan without grounding protection. That was the issue here. Take another picture. Do you think something is wrong here? Yes. So conductors entering boxes, cabinets, or fittings shall be protected from abrasion, or even opening through which conductors enter shall be effectively closed. Look at another picture. These are kind of temporary solutions, and if you can catch them, then you can take some actions. Otherwise, they'll be playing with you like you are at the side. Might be they are serious enough, not doing anything silly, but the moment you are in your office or not visiting your site at all, of course, they'll be doing a lot of silly things. That is why fatalities and major accidents are happening. So poor supervision is another catastrophic element and the root cause, I would say, for certain accidents. So flexible cords and cables may pass through doorways or other pinch points. So we have to be careful from the pinch points if protection is provided to avoid damage. Okay, guys, and the third module, I'll not take too much time because this is all about PPs, and I'm sure you guys have a certain understanding about PPs and you are using them regularly, but still few of the points are important which I truly want to highlight. First of all, there are some of the examples of PPs, like for eye, we have safety glasses and goggles, and for face, we have face shield, especially for the welders even, or abrasive blasters or certain other, wherever you have some combustible dust or toxic fumes or which can directly, touch to your skin, you want to avoid them. Head, hard head, and also feet, we have safety shoes. Hands and arms, we have gloves, but different types of gloves. Bodies, we have vest, and hearing like earplugs and earmuffs. Here, I really want to give one of the example. I noted personally as a safety auditor, I would say, in one of the company, the noise level was 95 decibel. I repeat again, the noise level was 95 decibel in a particular area. But the earplug, what the company provided and the employees were using, can only reduce 5 decibel impact, because the more decibel protection means more cost. So company thinks this earplug is just kind of a formality. So they issued that earplug, which we highlighted anyhow in the audit report, which is not acceptable because you have to have a suitable PPs, and this is the responsibility of employer to make sure no one is paying from their own pocket, especially for PPs. Employer is responsible to pay. Employer is responsible to provide suitable PPs. It's not like just a formality. Just imagine you have medical mask or dust mask, but dust is still going into your lungs. What's the benefit? Imagine you have earplug, but still you are becoming deaf, unfortunately. Imagine you have hard head, but just 2 kg something fall down from 20 meters and it's broke down and directly hitting to your head, God forbid. What's the benefit? So suitable and appropriate, NIOSH approved or some other, a lot of ASTM standards are there which we need to follow while selecting. Even a lot of international standards, which especially the procurement department, the safety department must be familiar with that. And if you Google up, easily you can find all the laws relevant to PPs, even from OSHA. But remember, for PPs, there must be a program. Program means the set of procedures. How you're going to select the PP, how you're going to provide it, like the issuance and, and make sure you assess the workplace before you determine. So risk assessment is important. Before even you decide what level of protection you are going to provide in terms of PPs. Now, once you have selected proper PPs, then employer must provide what? The training. And this is your legal right. You remember day before yesterday, we discussed. This is your legal right to get right, appropriate, suitable PPs from the employer, from your company management. Not paying from your pocket, like I gave example of one of the Filipino, Now, training employees required to use PPs must be trained to know why we need that training, when PP is a necessity, what type of PP is a necessity, and how to properly put on, take off, adjust and wear, limitations of the PPs, and proper care maintenance used for life and disposal. Everything have expiry date, kind of a shelf life, everything. So according to the shelf life or according to the expiry date, you need to make sure you are selecting your PPs. Look at the eye protection. A picture is more louder than words. Imagine if he doesn't have coverall or or FRC, fire resistant clothing or helmet or face shield, even the gloves or the this fire protected safety shoes, even resistable. Then safety spectacle, we have to be careful, especially when the jobs are carpentry or woodworking or grinding. Yes, goggles can protect us, and I always recommend it in Saudi Arabia. The moment you are working in a desert area, the goggles are much better for you because from the side, there shouldn't be a chance of sand to go into your eyes or any kind of other dust here. And look at the welding shield, but make sure no scratches on the screen, no damage. And it must be protected from sparks, metal spatter, and even slag chips produced during welding, brazing, soldering, and even cutting as well. Laser safety goggles, because a lot of radiation sometimes, especially like in hospital, in X-ray room, a lot of radiations are there. Same way on the rig side, oil rig side, sometimes you're gonna feel while sleeping at night and the lights are off, you will see the blanket have some sparking, kind of radiations. And if you are going first time at the rig site and you don't know, then might be you'll be shocked what is happening with my, even the bed, I would say, not only the blanket only. So protect eyes from intense concentration of light produced by lasers. Face shield, protect the face from nuisance and dust and potential splashes or sprays of hazardous liquid. Do not protect employees for impact hazards. Head protection, but make sure the toe protection is there also. The moment you are working at height, I would say. Hearing protection, either you are using earmuff or earplug, must be suitable as per the noise level within that area. And still you need to implement some administrative controls as well. Make some rotation. Don't let anyone work continuously for 4 hours or 6 hours. That's not, so you need to implement some of the administrative rules as well. These are some of the examples of hearing protectors like earmuffs, earplugs, canal caps are there. Foot protection, as per the nature of the job, we'll be selecting our foot protection. Safety shoes. Make sure this toe is resistable. The steel toe must be there and compatible as per the environment, as per your working processes or kind of activities you are performing. Hand protection, especially from the chemicals. And chemicals we have in shape of liquid, in shape of dust, in shape of gases as well. So protection is not only from the liquid side. You have to protect from invisible gases like H2S is colorless gas. Still you need to make sure you are protected from H2S. It's not touching your skin, not going inside, no inhalation, That's why we use SCBA and SABA, like supplied air breathing apparatus or self-contained breathing apparatus. Or we have another one like advanced breathing apparatus here. Or EBA is also there, emergency escape breathing apparatus. So why we need? Because certain different kind of chemicals are there around us. What are some of the hand injuries you need to guard against? Because a lot of hand injuries, whenever, as an auditor, when we check first aid records, or can you show us the injuries record? And if no hand injuries are there, we go back and check frequent hands of different employees or random hands, and we just see either they have any cuts, any kind of burns or bruises, and why it is not reported. Because sometimes employees cut is there and they have bandage in pocket and they just wrapped up, and a lot of hidden injuries are there and they don't report first aid cases. It's quite common, especially in construction industry, because if they're gonna inform you, they believe it's a threat for their job and even for their goodwill. Different types of gloves are there as per the nature of job, and MSDS can help us, or SDS, safety data sheet, or in Saudi Aramco CHB, chemical hazard bulletin. It will help us what type of gloves or PPEs we need to use to handle this particular chemical. Like we have Norfoil, laminate resist. We have butyl, provide the highest permeation resistance to gas or water vapors. We also have vital, that means is highly resistant to permeation by chlorinated and also aromatic solvents, the dangerous elements. Even nitrile provides protection against a wide variety of solvents. So according to the nature of your job or a kind of chemical you are going to deal with, you need to select types of different gloves. Same way we have caliber that protects against cuts, slashes, and even abrasion. Stainless steel mesh protects against cuts and lacerations or lacerations. Body protection, look at the full body protection, head to toe, I would say. Otherwise, body protection like cooling vest or sleeves and apron we use, especially in the laboratories. Coveralls or full body suit. I hope it will help you to understand. As per the nature of your job, you need to make sure you have appropriate, suitable PPs, well provided by your employer, by your top management, not from your own pocket. Okay, guys, we have next module. This is all about health hazards. You remember I added 2 slides from Saudi Aramco, like safety hazards and health hazards. Anybody remember what were these health hazards? Anybody remember, please? You can reply in the chat box. One of was biological hazard. Any other 4? Anybody remember? We have discussed it in day 1. Anybody remember, please? One was biological hazard. Second was, you can reply.
Chemical radiation, noise, vibration,
Excellent.
temperature.
Excellent. But now, as per OSHA, let's see what they are talking about. Number 1, OSHA Act of 1970. There is a clear purpose of the OSHA Act to assure so far as possible every working man and woman in the nation safe and healthful working conditions and to preserve our human resources. Like if your environment is killing your employees or making them sick or ill, so absenteeism, will go up and up. So what would happen? Your business will affect, your projects will affect. So it's not a win-win situation, right? So what you need to do is make sure you understand safety is our business continuity requirement. It's a business sustainability requirement. Instead of we are just considering it's a formality, Things are getting changed drastically. Like if you go to Schlumberger, you will see a lot of safety factors everywhere. You go to Weatherford, you go to even Halliburton, go to Saudi Aramco itself, or even Sadara or Sabig and see their safety systems, But the problem they are facing with contractors mostly. Now, remember there are routes of entry for different kind of health hazards like chemical, because chemical hazards are relevant to health hazards, even biological hazards also. So 3 ways are there. IAI, that means inhalation, like airborne contaminants. Absorption means penetration through the skin. Ingestion, that means eating or drinking. So these are routes of entry. So might be they can create a question in the exam also. What are the routes of entry for certain chemicals? So they will give like inhalation, absorption, ingestion, or maybe all of the above. Or might be one is correct, all other are wrong. But anyhow, we need to understand the hierarchy of control, because after all, whatever hazard is there relevant to radiation, biological or chemical or noise, or even environmental, or in other words, temperature, we need to control them. And what is the hierarchy of control? We have engineering controls, work practice controls, administrative controls, or PPs. As per OSHA, this is the hierarchy of controls. But under engineering, we can again split up like isolation or elimination, and work practice controls. We can put some procedures and policies and rules and regulations or work instructions. Administrative control also relevant to work practices, because you put some certain controls. And the last one is PPs. Now, in construction, what is the key target? Because we might have jackhammering, we might have rock drilling or abrasive blasting or concrete mixing or brick and concrete block or slab cutting. So what I mean is you need to work on master list of processes, master list of activity, master list of heavy equipment at your project site you have. If you work on master list of your employees working at the project site, master list of other contractors along with you working at the site, master list of chemicals, how many other certain chemicals you have. So if you work only on master list for everything, what you are doing, you have plenty of knowledge about your project. So the more knowledge you have about your project, it would be more easier for you to manage. Either you are working as a project manager or safety manager or safety officer or even project engineer or supervisor, whatever your position is at this project. If you have maximum knowledge about this project, it would be easy for you to manage. Remember that one. That is why I always mention not only list of processes, no harm to prepare list of activities. Even though in the risk assessment, we don't ignore even activities. We put everything there and we evaluate the chances of the probability of accidents. But anyhow, what are the common hazards in construction industry, especially abrasive blasting? Paint removal is there, renovation and demolition, and even road repair. Record keeping is important, but remember, as per OSHA, at least 30 years. You can create a question for how many years we need to keep exposure data for each employee, for how many years. So remember, as per OSHA, 30 years. So the complete history of that gentleman must be there. Then medical surveillance, duration of employment plus 30 years. Medical removal, at least duration of employment, and even objective data must be for 30 years. This is the record keeping lead in construction. Remember that one. And there is a chance, might be he can ask this question in the exam as well. Okay, guys, now we are going to talk about stairways and ladders. And it's quite common item you are using and looking at how it should be designed and how it should be maintained. What kind of inspections must be on board? How are you going to make sure the size of the ladder and the design and the specs and the angle of the ladder. So what are the hazards? Stairways and ladders cause many injuries because I told you now on the day one, if you remember, fall is the #1 cause of fatalities globally still until today. Fall is the #1 cause of fatalities. So fall means falling from ladders, falling from scaffolding, falling from man basket, falling from roof, wherever working at height is there. So stairways and ladders cause many injuries and fatalities among construction workers. About half the injuries caused by slips, trips, and falls from ladders and stairways require time off the job. So improper use of top rung of a step ladder is not acceptable. Look at this gentleman. Because size is not good enough, from the top roof, there must be 1 meter or 3 feet longer. So you don't use that, ladder area actually at the top roof. And the angle of the ladder, I hope you remember 75° must be there. Or if you are designing some stairways, then remember 19-inch, there must be a stair or ladder at points of access where there is an elevation break of 19-inch or more. These are OSHA requirements. And since mostly we guys are working with Saudi Aramco, and Saudi Aramco mostly following OSHA standards, OSHA regulations. So if you will understand these regulations, that means you will easily understand Aramco regulations as well. So no worries. Look at handrail versus stairway. Stairway, this is the design. Handrail, you can go like this. Handrail and top rail strength 200 lb, 200 pounds, pressure, 200 pounds pressure. That means in case of emergency or you're just going to fall down, God forbid. So at least you are catching up and pushing hard just to secure yourself, not to fall down. The pressure, existing pressure must be minimum 200 pounds in the design specs. So you design the material according to your international standards actually. So what I mean is you need to benchmark whatever you are buying, either it's a material, is kind of office furniture, is computer, anything you are buying for your project. The BOQ, I hope someone is having clarity. What is BOQ? Bill of quantity. So whatever material you are buying for your particular project must be complying some of the international standards or at least local standards. If you don't benchmark some of the standards, it's a violation. Anybody can catch you and they will not accept. Like see, the stairways to this platform has more than 4 rises and is not guarded because no guarding is there. The platform requires guarding because more than 4 rises are there. Look at the stair rails. So remember when we design some of the the stairs installed between 30 and 50 degrees. It's not like the ladder have 75 degrees, but what about the other stairs which you design for different in line with in construction with different buildings or different type of sites even. But make sure the angle is 30 to 50 degrees and must have uniform riser height and thread depth with less than 1/4 inch variation. So no more than 1/4 inch variation in any stairway system. Let's see the angle. Temporary stairways. What is wrong here? Fan is not good enough. Look at another one, landing. Yes. Stairway landing must be at least 30 inches deep and 22 inches wide at every 12 feet or less of vertical rise. Unprotected sides of landing must have standard 42 inches guardrail systems. 42 inches guardrail. And there must be middle rail as well. That means overall 42 inches and mid rail must be 21 inches. Okay guys, so platforms and swing doors, you're designing that one. If the doors get open directly a stairway, provide a platform that extends at least 20 inches beyond the swing of the door. This is not acceptable. Look at the dangers like any kind of spillage, especially oil spillage or chemical spillage, or even any spillage which can make the surface slippery. And if the shoes are not anti-slippery, that would be another problem. And if the ladder is not leveled, or the condition of the ladder, the material quality is not good enough, or the design of the ladder overall is not fit to the purpose, still things can go in a wrong way. Look at the ladders. So what are the general requirements? Ladders must be kept in a safe condition. First of all, the regular inspections before each use, no harm to inspect your ladder. Keep the area around the top and bottom of the ladder clear. Ensure rungs, flats and even steps are level and uniformity space is there. Ensure rungs are spaced 10 to 14 inches apart, and also keep ladders free from slipping hazard. This is a challenge actually to avoid from slipping hazard, because sometimes for such ladders we believe no need of buddy system. We don't need anyone else to work with us. We love to work alone because we believe this ladder is safe 100%, but still there is a slipping hazard. So what we have to do is make sure you secure the ladder. While look at the picture, this ladder is not on a stable surface. The secure footing is required, and also 3 point of contact. All the rungs must have same distance. in the design, same specs must be there, same distance must be there. There shouldn't be any damage, no cracks, and no painting as well. We use portable ladders as well. Inspect before use of cracks, dents, and missing rungs. Look at how he's using that one. Design and treat rungs to minimize slipping. In side rails, at least 11.5 inch apart, must support 4 times the maximum load. Must support 4 times the maximum load. Remember that one also. We have double plated ladder. Look at, for design requirements, of course, we have to make sure the OSHA requirements are there. Painting wood ladders, do not paint ladders, do not use any lacquer covering like varnish on a wood ladder. If ladder angle is there, remember, non-self-supporting ladders which lean against a wall or other support, position an angle where the horizontal distance from the top support to the foot of the ladder is 1/4 the working length of the ladder. That means 75-degree angle as well. Now, ladder rail extension, when using a portable ladder for access to an upper landing surface, the side rails must extend at least 3 feet above the upper landing. So this distance must be 3 feet. I hope you guys already familiar with. Tall fixed ladder requirements. Look at the design. Equip a fixed ladder 24 feet or longer with either a ladder safety device or self-retracting lifelines with rest platforms every 150 feet or less. Cage or well at multiple ladder sections, each section not exceeding 50 feet. So if you are a safety officer, you are not going to do all these things, but at least you must be capable and knowledgeable to verify. To verify there isn't any violation of safety standards. So you as a safety officer should never speak up beyond the standards. If you are highlighting any violation, go back and give a reference of the standard. Oh, this is the violation of OSHA standard. This is the violation of GI, this of Saudi Aramco. This is the violation of ILO. This is the violation of ISO standards or whatever. You just need to give a reference actually. Otherwise, anybody can give a very terrible challenge. Why you are highlighting or why you are stopping the project, since you are not familiar about standard requirements. Now, near energized electrical equipment, if using ladders where the employee or the ladder could contact exposed energized electrical equipment, they must have non-conductive side rails such as wood or fiberglass. So near to electricity, we have to be careful, like non-conductive wood or fiberglass can be used, but still this is an unsafe condition. Look at the picture first. Top step, do not use the top or the top step of a step ladder as a step. Cross bracing. On this ladder, the back rungs are designed for use. Do not use cross bracing on the rear of a step ladder for climbing unless the ladder is designed for that. Don't use it for climbing it. Missing rung is not acceptable. And any damaged or defective ladder, we need to remove it. Climbing the ladder, we need to face the ladder. 3 points of contact like 2 feet, 1 hand, or 2 hands, 1 feet. So 3 points of contact. And also, sorry, do not carry any object or load that could cause you to lose balance. So guys, remember, training is important. A competent person must train each employee in the following areas as applicable. The nature of the fall hazards in the work area, the correct procedures for erecting, they must be trained, and even maintaining and dismantling the fall, protective system to be used, and also the proper construction use, placement, and care in hanging overall stairs or on all stairways and ladders. The maximum intended load carrying capacities of the ladders must be clear enough. So what is the summary of this module? It's all about key components for the stairway safety like threads, rails, handrails, stair rails, guard rails, and landing and platforms. So basically, OSHA is helping us. We have Saudi Aramco standards. It's a blessing because we don't need to create any standards. Imagine if I'm going to tell you, can you create a safety policy for my company? Can you create more than 500 procedures for my 500 processes? Can you create different formats? Take an example of work permit formats of Saudi Aramco even. Can you design them and develop them? Imagine how much money Saudi Aramco would have invested or OSHA would have invested in. How much research cost would be there. But we need to consider it's a blessing because we don't need to research anything. We just need to follow the standards, and the standards are quite visible, easy to understand. Just we have to be focused, with our intention and having a learning passion. I always encourage you. If you don't have learning passion or especially self-learning passion, you are stopping your growth, by the way, professionally. So a competent person must be there to inspect the ladders, use the correct ladder for the job, use the correct angle, supports, threads, and even braces and rails. Don't overload. It's quite common sense. Your employer must train you in proper use of ladder. So guys, that was all about module number 5. And now we can have 5 minutes break or 10 minutes break, and please come back right after the break. It's module 6. This is all about safety and health programs, but I have a different idea to discuss something very practical, and I just need to go with one another presentation, and I'm sure you will enjoy it, inshallah. Because this is all about health and safety programs. So what I'm going to do is I'll share with you one question along with one picture. There are 3 rounds. And in 3 rounds, I'll be asking 5 questions in each round. What I'm going to do is I'll share one picture, then one question with 4 multiple options, or maybe true or false. And let's see who will be giving the right answer. Please unmute your mic as well, because everybody should be able to speak up. This is all about general health and safety quiz competition, because you will get some practical insights. So it's a round number 1. Guys, look at the picture first. Look at the picture first, and it's a $100 question number 1. Total 15 questions are there, 3 rounds, and in 1 round 5 questions. Each round 5 questions, and let's see how you respond to it, because safety is a common sense. So I'll be giving some options as well. So the question is, accidents and near misses should be reported. I repeat again, accidents and near misses should be reported. $100 question is there. The options are, so they can be investigated and prevented from happening again, so that the company doctor can decide how much time off work is needed, so that the company can track lost time injury, or so that if any first aid supplies are used, they can be refilled. So guys, it's quite open competition. So let's see who will be giving the right answers. You can reply in the chat box or you can speak up. It's up to you.
A.
A.
A. A.
Okay, Ronaldo, you are going with A. Romnick, you are also with A. Okay. Ron as well. And the logic is quite clear because accidents and near misses should be reported so that they can be investigated and prevented from happening again. So repetition need to be avoided. So A is the right answer. Excellent, Masha. So we are moving for question number 2. $200 question is there. Look at the picture first. Question is, for each shift, 2 people trained in first aid and CPR should be available. But in larger facilities, of course, might require more. True or false? $200 question is there. What is the right answer? A or B? $200 question is there. There would be coming some tough questions as well. So be ready for that. We just started up. It's a round 1. Dennis, you will go with A or is your answer for previous question?
Letter A, sir.
Okay, okay. So, true. Excellent, Nisha. Now, $300 question is there. Look at the picture first. What does good electrical safety mean? What does good electrical safety mean? The option A is electrical systems and wiring is maintained in a safe condition and receive regular scheduled maintenance. Procedures should be in place to make sure the wiring is in the correct size, insulated correctly and properly connected. Qualified electricians should provide maintenance as needed. All of the above. Yes, guys, you are open to give the answer. What does good electrical safety mean?
D.
Okay, Dennis, Romnick, you'll go with D. There must be proper maintenance or safe conditions, procedures, and also qualified electricians. That means all of the above. Excellent, Masha. Excellent. Okay, guys, $500 question number 4. Look at the picture first. Job hazard analysis. The question is, to prevent injuries, hazards should be identified, evaluated, and controlled. Identify which of the following could be considered a risk. I repeat again, to prevent injuries, hazards should be identified, evaluated, and controlled. Identify which of the following could be considered a risk. The difference between hazard and risk. I hope you remember. Continually lifting heavy boxes from a conveyor to a pallet. Cleaning your car on your day off. Pushing finished production on a hand trolley throughout the shift. Both A and C. What is the risk? Yes, guys. Still, you are open to give the answer. So, D. Yes, Abdurrahman, you'll go with D, both A and C. Correct, Marshall. Okay, so let's do who is the more smarter now. Question number 5 is $1,000 question is there, but answer is quite clear because noise below. I don't know what happened actually. But anyhow, round 2 we can move on. Question number 6, $2,000 question is there. Question is machines with the safety guard missing can be used at the operator's own risk. Yes, machines with the safety guards missing can be used at the operator's own risk. Of course, it's false. Excellent answer. Question number 7, $4,000 question is there. Question is, look at the picture first. Lockout or tag out. Lockout or tag out should be used when and by who? At the end of a shift, so the next shift restarts the line. So shift yields can be calculated accurately. To isolate the machinery during maintenance repair, anyone performing maintenance or servicing who is trained in lockout tag out procedures, who knows both B and C. Yes, guys, $4,000 question is there.
D.
You'll go with D. Both B and C. To isolate the machinery during maintenance or repair, anyone performing maintenance or servicing who is trained in the lockout tag procedures, who knows? Okay, guys, so D is the right answer. Very much. Next question is $8,000 question number 8. Look at the picture first. Question is, adequate railing or barriers are required for every open-sided floor or platform above which height? Adequate railings or barriers are required for every open-sided floor or platform above which height? 0.5 meter, 1.8 meter, 1.0 meter, or 2 meter. What is your answer, guys? Adequate railing or barriers are required. Look at, there is a height. So what do you think? 1.8? That means only 6 feet. Whenever you're gonna get 6 feet, then you will go for railing. What if the height is 3 feet? Don't we need? So the right answer is C. And 1.8 meter, of course, we need working at height like safe protection and nobody can fall down and full body harness and plenty of other requirements are there. But we are talking about adequate railings or barriers. Look at the picture, guys. Round 2 is there. $16,000 question. Working at height is working at above 1.8 meter. Adequately for protection means what? Guardrails, safety net, body harnesses or lifelines should be used with adequate anchor points. Any harness configuration is okay as long as it supports a person like a back belt. Guardrails must be in place for all situations above 1.8 meter. All of the above.
D. All of the above.
Okay. So Ronaldo, you are going with D. Ramnik, you are also with D. What about other guys? Please participate. Enjoy this competition because these are practical scenarios. Alan, you'll go with D. Okay. Let's see the answer. What we required is guardrail, safety net, body harnesses or lifelines should be used with adequate anchor point. Back belt is not acceptable. Guardrails, basically we required even above than 1 meter. But 1.8, we need guardrails, safety net, body harnesses or lifelines. So we'll go with A. No problem. Question number 10, $32,000 question is there. How should confined or enclosed workplaces such as tanks, pits, boilers, silos, even vaults be managed? Option A is all confined spaces are identified by signage in languages understood by workers. Identified related hazards evaluated before people can enter. Only trained people are permitted to enter confined spaces. All of the above. $32,000 question is there. I need everyone's opinion here. $32,000 question number 10. Aldrin, you will also go with D. Ronaldo also. Yes. Majority is the winner. Is the right answer. Last round of this competition, and until now, you guys are amazing, mashallah. $4,000 question is there. Question number 11. Look at the topic: personal safety. Chemical handling information is contained within the material safety data sheet or SDS safety data sheet or CHB, especially in Saudi Aramco. Which statement is not correct? So that means 3 statements are correct and only might be 1 statement is not correct. So you need to identify that one. Option A is MSTS contains identification and composition information for the chemicals. First aid instructions are on the MSTS. Having MSTS means all safety requirements are accounted for and no PP is required. Hazard identification including storage requirements and spill instruction. So what do you think? Which option is not correct? This word is important. $64,000 question is there. Romnek, Dennis, you will go with C. Ronaldo also. Romnek, Dennis. What about Aldrin? You'll go with C. Okay. So yes, having MSL means all safety requirements are accounted for and no PP is required. PPs are must. $125,000 question number 12. Look at the picture first. And for this air showers, again, whenever we go for on-site trainings or audits, I noted sometime eye washer is in invisible area. It's really hard to find eye washer. Sometimes the water is not there. Sometimes the water is there, but fully contaminated. Sometimes no direction. It's not highlighted on the evacuation maps where we have, or within the chemical areas, where exactly we are mixing chemicals or using them. And sometimes the functionality of this shower is not working enough. Like it should be auto sensors. You just go nearby and automatically water should come. And might be this functionality is not working enough. That means no maintenance. And the moment there is a chemical reaction in your eyes, God forbid, of course you need that product immediately. So it's an important safety factor. But unfortunately, we again sometimes think it's just a formality. Whenever there is an audit or there is, some visits, we will just show some masterpieces that we have complete system. So the question is, emergency eye wash showers are to be made readily available where corrosives and chemicals are used as recommended by MSGA. True or false? $125,000 question is there. Emergency eye wash showers are to be made readily available where corrosives and chemicals are used as recommended by MSDS. Any other opinion, guys? By marking, you simply impose your decision for others as well. Look, Ronaldo is saying A is the right answer. Aldrin, you are going with false. Abdurrahman with A. So A is the right answer. Ron, A is the right answer. The reason is emergency eye wash showers are to be made readily available. That means all the time active. Where corrosives and chemicals, where you are using them, like corrosive chemicals or different kind of hazardous material you are using, you need to use that eye washer near to that area. So it's a true statement. $125,000 question. Question number 13. $250,000 question number 13.
MJ, dami mo ng pera.
Oh. I don't know what happened, there is something. Okay, so I will reshare. Not like that.
Sir, when can we collect the money?
I don't know, this, mouse is doing something terrible here. But last round, last 3 questions are very much interesting. Okay, guys, I'm going to share this screen again. Now it's visible. The true already we gave the answer. Okay, guys, $250,000 question is there. Hearing protection should reduce exposure to less than 85 decibel, 8 hours exposure equivalent. All types of earplugs and masks will provide the same level of protection. True or false?
False.
False.
So you will go with B, false.
False. B.
Excellent, Masha. Second last question, $500,000 question. Look at the picture first. Hand protection is required to protect against contact with chemicals, to protect against situations or lacerations, to protect against extreme hot or cold temperatures, all of the above.
All of the above.
Hand protection is required. Yes, everyone, please. Second last question, number 14, $500,000 question. Romnick, Rani, and all others are going with D.
D.
So D is the right answer. So $1 million question is there. Look at the picture first. So respiratory protection requirements includes what? Read all 4 options. I'm not going to speak up. Read carefully and let me know your right answer in the chat box. $1 million question is there. Question number 15. The third round. The last question of third round. Respiratory protection requirements includes what?
Hati-hati tayo sa 1 million.
You know, one of my Saudi students, he mentioned if I could get $1 million, trust me, sir, you will not see me back in Saudi Arabia. So I told him that is why you're not getting $1 million because your intention is not good. But this knowledge is, I'm sure you are enjoying, and it's more than 1 million. But anyhow, let's see who is going to be the winner. So I'm expecting everyone to be responding in the chat box for this particular question, the last question of third round. Eldrin, Rene, and all others mentioned A, even Ellen. Okay, guys, so the answer of $1 million question is A. Excellent question. So I hope you would have enjoyed it, because this is how the health and safety programs and procedures and different kind of environment we need to create within our companies. Otherwise, no benefit. Okay, guys, can you just turn on your video so I can take a screenshot for attendance purpose? Excellent, Misha. You know, the best thing with online trainings, you can be anywhere, in your bedroom, in your car, at your project site, anywhere. Yes, guys, please turn on your video. Abdurrahman, trust me, you can get 1 million. I have $1 million different ideas. So contact me privately. So you are in Saudi Arabia, you know, having a Saudi nationality. So multi-million-dollar business ideas are there. Just start and earn not only $1 million, even maybe $100 million. So shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will stay among the stars, right? So have a big dream and see the result, inshallah. Yes, I know, man. You have so many big dreams, mashallah. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. I'll take your screenshot. And secondly, I'm requesting again, please WhatsApp me your WhatsApp number. Say hello, hi. So I will be able to create a group, you know, for Osha training, and we'll be sharing plenty of knowledge for exam preparation and even this presentation as well. Because only 4 guys still I got WhatsApp number. So note down my WhatsApp number again, and then you can share with me.